Well, I think we were all surprised when recently Smith & Wesson announced its Model 1854 lever-action carbine. Now, if you know your Smith & Wesson history, you know that the company started with the lever-action Volcanic long and short arms. Fast forward all these years and Smith has decided to get into the very competitive enhanced lever-action market. And the Model 1854 is an example of a modern lever action that has been imbued with a lot of performance features. For instance, for sighting on top, we have a Picatinny rail and we have an XS ghost ring aperture rear and an XS gold bead front sight, all attached to the barrel with screws. What's nice about that is that you have those iron sights, and if you want to put on a red dot or if you want to mount a scope, that's already accommodated by what's offered in the Model 1854. And before I go any farther, maybe I should say right here that the 1854 is initially available in this version and some high-end versions as well. But again, part of what makes the lever action today different from your granddad's lever action is that today things like polymer stocks are offered on some of these guns, and Smith definitely took a cue from some of the work that's been done by some of their competitors in recent years and said, let's come out of the gate with a gun that offers a lot of these features. So in addition to these sights, on the forend, you've got integrated into the forend on the sides and on the bottom actual M-lock slots for accessories. Also, this gun is threaded at the muzzle 11/16/24 for suppressors. Again, a nod to, hey, this is a 21st century lever gun. This is not an 1890s gun. Another modern nod to the lever action form is that you've got the large loop lever. And it contrasts somewhat with the flat trigger. And a flat trigger is something you don't see on a lot of lever actions, but Smith went ahead and did that. And of course you've got the spur hammer, and there is it's hard to see, but there is a cut at the tip of the spur hammer so that you can attach a rounded hammer spur on either side, depending on whether you're left or right-handed and want to get on that with a scope mounted. Going back to the gun, we've got a cross bolt safety. Very simple. If it's pressed on the right side, on the left side, a red annular ring is revealed. This gun, with a 19.25-inch barrel, weighs in at 6.8 pounds, and it's an overall length of about 36 inches. So it's handy. Now, again, going back to basics, 19.25-inch barrel. Now, what that means in .44 Magnum is you get a magazine capacity. The magazine tube is here. You get a magazine capacity of 9 rounds plus one in the chamber if you choose to carry the gun that way. Now, as to the magazine itself, the magazine tube, if you notice, the tube has a red follower here that's spring-loaded. So all your cartridges push up into that and compress the spring. But the tube is single-walled. Unlike some other designs today, there's not a provision to load the tube as do some rimfire lever actions from the past. The point of that is for safe unloading so that cartridges don't have to be worked through the action in order to clear the gun. So that was an approach that Smith took that's a little bit different than some of its competitors today. So whether you go high grade or go with this initial offering in stainless and synthetic, the 1854 has a smooth action. It seems to be a gun that works well and that Smith seems to have worked all the bugs out of and come up with a really nice working gun, an accurate gun out of the box. Kudos to a company for going back to their roots 170 years later and hitting it out of the park.
For more on firearms and shooting gear, go to AmericanRifleman.org.